My name's Greg Lernahan. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all my Irish cousins out there. I've had the distinct pleasure of working with a lifelong friend and colleague, Dan Mosseri. We're the co-founders of Convergent Technologies. And that's a very humbling thing for us to stand up here today and talk about and the success that Convergent's had. It's exceeded our wildest expectations. We'd say our dreams never went that far. But I want you all to understand right from the get-go, growth has been part of who we are. Day one, Dan and I set a goal of $300 million by 2009. Now that's no products, we had no money, no colleagues, no customers. It was, in my opinion, when we look at goals, and we're going to talk about $2.5 billion to $4 billion, in our history, there's never been a time that's tougher than 0 to 300. People will come to Dan and I and say, you know, there's a lot of pressure on us now to perform. Numbers are even more important. Those good old days must have been fun, huh? You guys, those early days must have been fun. Well, it was fun, no question about it. But this is our first picture we took. Anybody recognize even? That's Tony Varco at like 12, I think, on the left-hand side there. Yatzer looks pretty good. Mosseri's got that stash thing rocking. But Jeff Rogers wasn't in that picture. But we brought a team in. And you're all sitting there going, so you made a $300 million goal. Anybody can do that. Well, the difference is that very few people in this room know, we're going to tell you today for the first time, is that we signed a contract with our investor that if we didn't hit $300 million, we lost the company. So that's not a graph sitting in a conference room that I hope to make it. It is we either make it or we don't. It's binary. We've never had more pressure in my life than when 2008 and 9 came around and we had to make sure we had that number. Oops. Can you go back one, please? Our investor unfortunately sold to a company called Honeywell. And so now our investor was at somewhat a competitor at the time. And so they called us. First, the CFO called the CEO and said, hey, sell them, they're bleeders. Referring to the amount of money we were losing because they came in on the end of year 2. Well, the CEO contacted Dan and I, and he said, hey, listen, no offense, guys, but you're a rounding error in our business. And I remember saying to myself, if you're ever trying to motivate somebody, don't tell them they're a rounding error. So guess what? What? Guess what? We're not a rounding error anymore. Honeywell at the time didn't see the vision of wow that we had presented to the company. What we were building, a North American systems integrator that's going to be independent and not selling proprietary products. We ended up having a great relationship with them almost for 10 years, 8 years, and now they're a product partner of ours. But there were some sticky days because if we didn't hit $300 million, there's no Convergent, there's no conference room right now celebrating Convergent Nation, there's no 5,000, 10,000 colleagues and families. We don't exist. And we were within minutes of possibly losing the company. So when we talk about pressure, we get it. From the first day we've had it, it's part of our culture. Growth hurts, growth is hard, but when you start thinking about the options of not growing, it's twice as hard. Oh, about 3 years ago, I heard a guy present, Andy Stanley is his name. He's a passionate pastor, he's an accomplished speaker, he's a gifted author on leadership. And he talked about the difference between wow and how. And as Ken mentioned, I guess not right when I walked out, about 2 or 3 years ago, I was at our board meeting, and we're doing well, we've done well, and we're presenting all the options we have in front of us. And all I continued to say in my head was, wow, it's incredible. We've been at this 22 years, and we still have more opportunities in front of us now than we've ever had. That's impossible. But the whole meaning of wow and how is something I want to talk about. So in our case, when Danny and I were out there in the early years, we weren't selling how, we were selling wow. And we were saying, hey, we're going to build a company from scratch. We're going to do it the right way. We're going to have culture as our differentiator. In fact, we're going to love on people and the colleagues. And our customers, we're going to be obsessed with them. We're going to not manufacture anything. We're not going to have any proprietary product. We're only going to compete on service. So we're going to expect to be our customer's best service provider. We're going to be decentralized and empowered, and we're going to operate like a Fortune 100 company on businesses or business processes, money, capital, leadership. But we're going to be easy and nimble to do business with, just like a small company. And guess what? We're going to have a tremendous amount of fun, and one of our values and beliefs is going to be fun and laughter on a daily basis. But we don't have all the answers, and we need you to join us to help you. You want to join? And what we found was when you're selling wow, not how, people want to get on board. This is our picture that we had on our door for probably the first year. Dan and I met with a friend, and we're building this company. He said, "You're not building a company, you're building a rocket ship." Well, we're 22 years into this now, and we're still building a rocket ship. So the question we had to know at the time was, how? How are we going to do this? And so our investors, we had to sit and say, how are we going to find an investor that's going to give us $20 million and control the company? That's unheard of. How are we going to get product partners to give us their product lines across North America? We don't even have an order. We don't have a customer. We don't have a colleague. How are we going to get colleagues to start when we're asking everyone to take a 20% pay cut? And what we found is the word how can be a very negative word. So we stayed away from it early on because it's a dream killer. It destroys creative processes, whereas the wow word doesn't. Possibly the greatest wow in the American perspective would be John F. Kennedy when he made the great speech that said, we want to have Americans be the first to go to the moon. They didn't know how they were going to do it, but he was selling the wow. Can you imagine if they do? We didn't know how. We don't profess to know how, but we knew what the wow was going to be. And so we wanted people to join our team and say, listen, welcome aboard. Can you imagine the wow if we could do it? Where are my CODPs? You out there? CDPs, sorry, not CODPs. Let me hear from you. Stand up if I can see some CDPs. All right. You all are the young part. Anybody under 30, actually, I want to talk to, because I realize that wow isn't an edgy, cool term for that group. They can't relate to it at all. So I'm going to speak in a language now that you're going to understand. So we're going to wrap it down here. So I want you to know this event is giving. And the culture at Convergent slaps. Okay? I'm not kidding. And this conference, we made a decision, is no cap. Okay? In fact, we think it's bussin'. Now, I made a deal with the leadership team that we're going to make this the dopest place to work in the entire industry. You guys with me now? Do you understand what we're talking about? So it's important when we talk about the word wow, the depth of wow, what wow means. I want to walk through some things. So when I say wow, let me hear you say wow. Wow. Okay, that's where we have to start now. When I say wow, I really generally say wow. Because that has a whole different level of respect and just a feeling of you're on my team and we can make it happen. It's wow of astonishment, wow of amazement. So this time I want you to lean forward just a little bit, get kind of breathy, and go, wow. Okay? On a count of 3. Oh, that's not even close. Nobody's trying. You're not even trying. I worked hard on this. Let's try it one more time. I want to hear, this is it. You're sitting in front of somebody, you want to let them know that you appreciate everything about them, and the only way you can do that is go, wow. Oh, that's better. I like that. All right, so I'm going to give you some facts, and then I want you to say wow at the end of each one of those, okay? You with me? All right. We have global accounts, vertical markets, healthcare, education, utilities, SLED, all of them have committed to doubling in the next 5 years. That's a wow. We're on 5 continents. We have 200 offices. We have an excess of 10,000 colleagues. We have thousands of customers that we can call upon. That's a wow. We have 200 offices, and all we need to do is about $2 million in office, and we can make our financial goal. Just $2 million in office. That's a wow. We have 100 salespeople in the last 2 years that have sold in excess of $8 million. That's a wow. We have opportunities with our existing tens of thousands of customers to sell managed services, computer vision, digital transformation. The opportunities have never been greater than they are right now. That's a wow. We got our fine marketing team that has put together the coolest damn wow shirts I've seen ever. That's a wow. We have incredible partners in this room that we rely on, that are here, that are spending a Sunday with us, that have supported us since day one. That's a wow. Now, there's no competitor, and I think Ken brought it up, no competitor has our culture, our reach, our grit, our leadership, our professional sales force, our operations delivery, our customer reference. No one has that. That's a wow. Now, this last one I want a lot. We've been in business 22 years. In each of those 22 years, despite a global pandemic, an economic meltdown in the housing, economic meltdown in the stock market, we have grown consecutively in bookings, revenue, EBITDA profit for 22 consecutive years. No one in the industry could even come close to that, but almost no one in the world can come close to that. That's a double wow. Yeah, I like that, yeah. You ought to see, I don't know what it sounds like out there. It's pretty cool up here. All right. I want you to be able to take this home, the difference between wow and how. So imagine you go home and your little girl comes up and says, Mommy, Daddy, I want to start a lemonade stand. Now I want to make $1,000 and I want to help the kids in Haiti. If you know anything about Haiti right now, they need the help. And you're going to go in there and say, how are you going to do that? You got to sell 2,000 cups of lemonade at 50 cents a piece. You go to school all day, you got gymnastics afterwards. I'm not going to sit out there. We're on a busy street. This isn't going to happen. But what I'd rather have you do is get down on one knee, look her in the eye, and go, wow, am I proud of you? What can I do to help you? And watch how the magic happens. The neighborhood finds out that she's trying to raise $1,000, and somebody writes a check on that street for $500. And next thing you know, the news program's profiling this little girl, all because you didn't go in there and squash all her ideas with that negative how word, and you went in with that empowering wow. Can you imagine if we could do it? So I want to close, because people ask me, I kind of get the wow, which is visionary, dreaming. Don't stop too early. No one has ever disrupted an industry in knowing how they were going to do it. Not Apple, not Amazon, not Facebook, not NVIDIA, nobody. Not Costco, and not even Convergent. We didn't know how we were going to do it. But man, did we have a team that knew what the wow was. I want to close just by saying thank you for all that you have done to help make Convergent successful. It's been a real honor to be part of this journey. There's no other competitor in the world that can pull off our fun and laughter, our seriousness, delivering our customers, and just making it a wonderful way to work. So for that, I thank you. I don't want you to tell us what can't be done. What wow and how is about is tell us what you need to make it happen. Don't tell us you can't do it. There's no such thing as I can't do it. It's just a question of what do you need to do it. So if you're in a market that's small and you got to get to 3 million, great. Tell us what you need and we'll provide it for you. My last wow is what a great opportunity it is to be at Convergent at this point in time. Give me one last wow. All right, thank you very much.